Don't be like that guy. That video was terrible. But today, I kinda want to talk about something I skimmed over in some of my past videos. You know, I've never really been the type to say I know exactly what Sonic should be. I know what's going to fix the series immediately. That's never really been me, and yes, I've given what I want to see in Sonic, and some elements on what I believe a good game would be, but no one really knows for sure. We're not working at a company that makes video games, you know? It's kinda complicated stuff. We just kinda wish for things and think we know what we're talking about a lot of the time. Just like the argument I'm going to bring up in this video. 2D Sonic and 3D Sonic. Pretty controversial topic in the Sonic community. Heck, in all of gaming, really. If you look up any history video of Sonic or any review of Sonic, they tell you that 2D Sonic was, you know, its prime, and everything just stopped being good after that point. Whether you believe that or not, some of Sonic's worst games have been 3D. Mainly due to the fact that 3D is a lot more, I guess, risky in a sense, because there's a lot more to deal with, as opposed to just a 2D game, which is in itself not an easy task, but 3D definitely seems much more complex than 2D would seem. I hear various arguments all the time. I hear that Sonic should have stayed 2D throughout his entire career. I hear that for the 25th anniversary they should just make a 2D game. I hear that people are tired of the 2D inside the 3D games, you know, with the fusion they've been doing since Unleashed. I hear so many arguments, and let's get into the logic behind them, the mindset behind them. Why do people want to see 2D? Why do people want to see 3D, and why I could see them possibly being good things or bad things with the series. First off, 3D. I imagine it's what a lot of my following supports, because a lot of us relate to the 3D games more than the 2D games. I know that's kind of absurd to the diehard Sonic fans, but it's no lie that there has been more 3D games at this point, at least with the main title games. Now, me being a 21st century person, a 2000s kid, 3D is what I saw the most. Yes, I played the classics first, but as a kid, I thoroughly enjoyed the era of 3D platforming. I got Jak and Daxter, Ty the Tasmanian Tiger, and Fairly Odd Parents Breaking the Rules. Really good game, by the way. And if any of you know me and watch my videos, of course I think the adventure games are good. I'm not one of those guys who think Sonic just completely fell down after the 2D games. A really ridiculous mindset, I believe. So with that, I automatically don't cancel 3D Sonic out. It was a good run, it really fit the era in which it was in, and though it didn't play at all like 2D, it was completely 3D. It felt Sonic, it reminded you that you were playing Sonic the entire time, and it's just really hard to compare 2D and 3D. I just think it's really different, so when you get all the way up until, let's say, Sonic Lost World, like up to date today, it really strikes me when people think that 3D should just end, that Sonic shouldn't be 3D. And let's kind of get into 2D, let's kind of get into that mindset of Sonic should be 2D from now on. Now the fundamentals are pretty obvious. 2D has been Sonic's best track record, if you think about it. Most of the Dimps games on handheld have been pretty good. I'm looking at the Advanced Trilogy, I'm looking at the Rush games. Sonic Colors DS I hear is pretty alright, never played it, but I take your word for it. And you look at Sonic 4, which was supposed to be the big return to 2D, you know. That nostalgia game they were hoping to capitalize with. People think I really hate Sonic 4. I clearly think they're decent games. They're really fun games to download and have fun with, I guess. Nothing too special with them, they're just 2D Sonic platformers to me. As sequels, I think they're completely garbage. But as games, they're fine. They did what they wanted to do, and they did it good. They did it really good. Just not kind of what we hoped for, with the name Sonic the Hedgehog 4. So 2D really has a good track record, and ever since that, they've never really stopped bringing it into the 2D games. As most would suggest, this is purely to keep a safe route, keep 2D in Sonic because of that novelty with the classics, to appeal to those fans that used to be heavily into Sonic with the classics and dipped at the adventure games, or 06 or whatever the case may be, and I get that. Especially coming off of 06, Unleashed really wanted to be that game to do it, and sadly it didn't really carry over as well with a lot of people, but with Colors, yeah, you got it. You got that mix that you wanted, or that most people want. Generations did it a lot better in my opinion, and it really just made you think that, wow, they could probably have like two separate series going on, a 2D Sonic and the 3D Sonic. Well, the mindset of the 2D people, you know, the people wanting Sonic to stay in 2D, you have a lot of stuff backing up for it. The part that really just confuses me is, what exactly do these people want from 2D? Like, are they wanting the one-to-one classic Sonic? Or are they wanting different momentum 2D modern gameplay like Colors or Sonic 4? Like, what do people want? Because as someone who prefers a 3D Sonic, I feel like there's a lot more you could do with the series to make it a lot better. I feel like if you took what Generations did, or even what Lost World did, and just took out everything bad about it, it'd make the game that everyone seems to want in this fanbase. Like, people want the multiple characters, people want the replay value, some even want a really good story to go with it, people want multiplayer. I feel like you could do that a lot better with 3D. With 2D, yeah, you could make something really great, and the huge argument with that is Rayman Legends or Rayman Origins. Rayman went back to 2D and it worked out really well. I've seen videos on the future of Sonic and how Sonic should stay 2D, and they make really good points. A 2D Sonic could definitely work nowadays, and I agree with that. And they grab for that argument that safe is the best option. 2D is the best option. It's your best go-to. It's your easiest choice. I completely understand that. It's a really easy thought. I just haven't seen it really replicated as good as I'd want it to be. Like, if I wanted a next main title game to be 2D, like, we're not talking just spin-off like a downloadable game. I'm talking about just the next game to be just 2D and the game after that to be 2D, and for Sonic just to stay a 2D series. What could you do to amaze me? Like, what could you do to make me, want another 2D game after 2D game? Like, my thing with 2D gaming is, like, I feel like you could do a lot. I just don't think you could do a lot with Sonic. I just don't think I could just keep getting 2D games with Sonic and have fun with them over the years. And I know people might disagree with this, but, like, I don't know if I could feel that way with Sonic. I don't know if I could just constantly accept these 2D games that gradually somewhat build off of each other and get better, because I haven't really seen anything that convincing yet. I haven't seen a 3 Knuckles yet. I haven't seen a Sonic 2 yet. Something that was mind-blowing back in the day that can be done now. I'm just questioning what they'd realistically do to excite me with another 2D game. With 3D, you could argue, yeah, the 3D platformer is dying out nowadays. Like, everyone's either going back to its roots, like 2D, like New Super Mario Bros. U or something like that, or they're just dying out, like Crash or Jak and Daxter or all those games, like, you never really see nowadays. I think the last one I really just saw was Knack. I have no idea what that is. Sonic's one of the only ones I can just immediately know that's still a 3D platformer. That was back in the day, But, I don't know. I don't really know. It's just kind of discussion. I like to imagine that Sonic is a 3D series nowadays, but there's no question that a 2D game wouldn't really be bad. I couldn't see it just being bad, so that's the easy option to go to. That's what a lot of people would go to. Me, on the other hand, it's like, I'd rather see a more ambitious title, like a 3D game, be done just really well. Because I think Sonic could be that series to be in 3D, and just make something really nice. But yeah, that's just what I think. That's my rant on the whole thing. Be sure to let me know what you think. Let me know if you'd rather see a 2D game or a Sonic 3D game for, like, the next main title game. I'm pretty confident that it will be 3D, but it's fun to talk about. I'm Steven Nux, and I will definitely talk to you all later.